We're here at Pleasant Green Access on the Eno again. The water is about 4.75 feet, which should be about perfect. And I'm here with the B&A Adventure crew. Also Scott from Team River Runner in Fayetteville. And I got Adam. So none of us have done this run before, and we're gonna go check it out in a minute. But before we do that, Adam and I wanna go see this waterfall that we passed up last time. There's a link up here at the top of the screen if you want to check out the video for the last time we were here, when we took out here at Pleasant Green. And then we're going to pick it up here and go all the way back down there to West Point at Eno Park or something. We're going down to West Point, basically 501. Okay, now we are here at the waterfall that we didn't run last time. I wanted to scout it just to see what it looked like. If it's a go, I'll run it. Not much water. You good? You okay? Oh, gotcha. Not sure what they were doing, but they acted surprised, so I stopped filming. And the water wasn't running that hard, and we didn't stick around. We kind of figured maybe it was a good time just to go paddling. About to slide in, we had one snafu. Mitch's dry suit zipper broke. Yeah. So maybe he can do a review video on Amazon grade dry suits. Just thinking, what do you think, Mitch? Yeah. It works when it works, but the zipper might not work. It was working. So he's gonna go just old school, just man up. Pretty warm day, he's gonna be fine. B&A Adventures, who do you identify with? B&A and cross paddles? Both.
No, well.
I mean, we all do, really, but I didn't know who you were contracted with.
Cross paddles, mainly.
Oh, you're cross paddle. He's a cross paddles athlete, sponsored. Oh, I caught the end of that. Oh, there's more. Carnage cam is on. Don't go too fast, Adam. It's really fast. The one and only Scott Gross from Team River Runner, Fayetteville, in the Chiquita Banana. Right there, that's the danger zone. Oh, but you made it.
More power! More power!
This is not quite as exciting as he imagined. That's just like a waterfall, you're ready. Yay, and then ferry over here to this eddy if we can.
We had a beautiful Saturday afternoon. The water was up, and it was time to explore the next section of the Eno River. For Bonnie and Alan and Mitch, this would be their first exploratory run in a kayak. And so with this type of run, things are different. No one knows the river, no one knows the lines. So basically we just approach the river with a little more caution, and we're a little more deliberate about how we pick our lines. I plan to run in the front in any blind corner situation with the team lagging behind, so I can make a decision and then give a signal to Eddy out for safety, or to come on through because it's safe. And once everyone understands the cadence and flow of the run, and we establish the rhythm of the river, things will usually fall into place. You just can't let your guard down, because sometimes something will sneak up on you. And of course, we'll always look to improve on our paddling as we move down the river. And to start the day out, I just started having everyone catch as many eddies as possible so we can see how we're looking there. And maybe even try a tricky one like this.
Ooh, that's a good one, juicy. Almost cool.
Almost.
This one looks undercut, so don't get on that rock. Not on that big one. Go left or right.
And this is just sort of thing we're looking for. The right side of the rock there looks to be undercut as there's no pillow building up. We just want to keep folks away from that since we don't know exactly what that entails. Always be looking for rocks that have flow disappearing into them rather than building up on the front side. And that's usually a sure sign of an undercut or a sieve, or possibly both.
Hard eddy. It's a hard one. Lean left. Lean left. Good work. That's a good one. Hit it hard. Woo-wee. Come on. Ah. This one's decent. What happened? Well, Bonnie, what'd you just give to the river? A GoPro, yeah! Everyone's favorite moment.
Which had your jump in the rock.
Oh no, there's good footage on there.
I wasn't too far because I was right here in this eddy. Woo, there's a big rock.
Bonnie was unable to recover her camera, but if she had, this is what I imagine some of that footage might look like. And as you know, I'm giving away a GoPro 7 tonight in the video. Not that it has anything to do with this footage, but it just so happens I was hiking along the Eno River Wednesday in the general area where Bonnie lost her camera. And I happened to be snorkeling along the bank, and wouldn't you know it, I found a GoPro. And I decided to give this one away, so all you have to do to win the GoPro 7 tonight is to be named Bonnie and to comment in the live chat. Good luck! So we're going to try to do something neat on this rapid. This is Bobbitt's Hole. And what we're going to do is catch this top eddy here. And then we're going to try to shoot across to the river right eddy in that pocket, across the current. And for a few members of the team, this is going to be somewhat daunting. We'll call it a must-make move because just below, right there, that's a slight undercut in the rock. And so you got to do this move without getting washed into the rock on the river right. As you progress in paddling, sometimes the entire river banks and half of the riverbed is sieved out and undercut. And you got to make moves in front of things like this the entire time. When you're just starting out, you want to avoid these places like the plague because that's where bad things happen. But today, with this particular water level and that particular rock, the danger is relatively low for an undercut. But just saying the word undercut can instill fear in a paddler if he's not used to it. So letting them know this danger's there and then doing a controlled move above it, if they're ready, is a way to progress their paddling and build confidence. If they're not ready, this is not a place to do it. And this is where we talk about how to approach a rapid. And this is where we get the kayaking counterintuitive stuff again. It makes sense that since Mitch is not wanting to interact with that undercut, which is on the right side, that he's hugging the left side of the rapid. That's not actually always the best maneuver. Now that he's on the left side, he's got nowhere to go to start developing leftward momentum. He's going to have to point straight at the undercut and paddle through the rapid and then hope to hook around the bottom rock. The problem will be that since you've started on the left, you're building rightward or straight on momentum. And it's going to be more difficult to overcome than if you had started on the right side of the rapid, set your nose angle to the left, and started ferrying from the right to the left through the duration of the rapid, heading right for the eddy. And as you can see, the penalty here is not very high for failure, so it's a good first look at some of these concepts for the guys. You're really trying to stay away from the boogie monster, and it just kind of makes you think about things incorrectly sometimes. Alan here catches the eddy, so instead of peeling out river right, which would let him hook back and aim for river left, he peels out river left, causing him to have to hook around the rock as well.
He peeled out the wrong way. Good.
Bonnie enters from the correct side and kind of catches the eddy, but really is demonstrating what we're trying to do. She's got leftward boat angle and then straightens out at the bottom, but that kind of gives you an idea of what we're trying to do. Adam here is going to be trying to do what I did, catching the eddy above the undercut, then shooting straight across, and he does a pretty good job.
Yeah, he's got his game face on. I like it. See if he can do it a little better than I did. Yep. Nice, nice, perfect. Very nice.
So as Scott approaches the rapid, he's coming in on the wrong side as well, using the same mentality that seems right, but is actually incorrect. So I slip over here into this pocket eddy to kind of block the entrance there and make sure I can help if something goes wrong. And it gives me the idea, let me get Alan and Mitch and Adam and whoever else wants to try. Let's get them over, make that move into the weird pocket eddy there, and then come back across just to get them used to controlling their boat in weird places. There's no danger here. If you flip, you're just going to wash into the big giant pool below. But it is in heavy current, and it will be something new for the guys, putting themselves intentionally up against a rock, and one that you can see there is slightly undercut. This is just going to be a boundary stretching exercise for some of these guys. It's going to be good.
Controlling your boat in weird places. That's it. So you want to kind of just come in there and whip up next to the rock. That's it. Now I'm in the eddy, now I'm back out. Just be aggressive, you got it.
And that's what I told Alan, because I could tell he was a little bit tentative, and that usually does not yield good success. So I want him to paddle in there aggressive. But as you can see, he's kind of cat-pawing and short-stroking. Never doing anything like this before and not sure exactly what it's all going to feel like. And then rather than ferrying back across to me, he actually peels out and washes downriver. So we want to come straight back to the eddy we started in. And you see Mitch does exactly the same thing. These little cat paw strokes, kind of feeling the water out. And then he drops his boat angle and peels out instead of ferries. I want him to come straight back across to right where they started. And this is something you can do over and over and get the feel of it. It's not going to be easy the first time. But as you can see here, Alan is really just making a ferry move and then ferrying back. It's a little less of a dynamic move, but he's kind of getting his sea legs about him there. And what he's doing, he's kind of doing some labored strokes, as is Mitch. It's a bunch of little short strokes which are reactionary versus really grabbing that boat with your legs, controlling your angles and your edging, and doing some short, shallow, and doing some slower, more meaningful strokes and staying in more control. So I do it again, kind of zip over there and whip into the eddy a little bit, and then come straight back across with as few strokes as possible and looking good for the camera. If you feel like you're looking cool, it's going to be better. And here's Alan's attempt.
That was better.
Yes. Very controlled. That was nice.
That was pretty good.
Now just set that angle and ride. That's good. Way better than the first time. Adam.
And that's the price of progress sometimes. Mitch is trying something new, and sometimes it ends up like this. Hand slipped off, missed his T-rescue, and he's not 100% reliable with his roll yet, so he swims.
Good try, Mitch. Good try.
And out of where?
Good try, baby.
No shame in trying new things.
Oh, too hot.
Good. Oh, good try. Oh, Moose, yes, good try.
These two trees on the river right that I'm passing are very dangerous and just the kind of thing that gets you dead. So if you see something like that when you're on the river, stay as far away from that as possible. You can wrap your boat around it. You can just get 2-point pin there. All kinds of bad juju is possible in a situation like that. Stay away.
We're going this backwards. Oh, thanks. You got it. You got it. Woo! Yeah! Too wide. There we go, guys. That was a good one.
Perfect example of why you don't want to take the inside or the smaller channel. Trees like that, if the flow was higher and that tree was just a little further across, or maybe there was some more debris there, that would have been a very catastrophic event because there was almost no eddy service before that log. But today the flow wasn't terrible, so we went there and it was a perfect example to the guys of why it's always safer to stay in the main channel, especially when you can't see what that small channel has. When the channel is narrower than the length of the trees on the banks, when the trees fall over, as you can see, they don't get cleared out by the water. And that can start building up massive debris piles that the water goes through, and you do not, massive strainer events. So if you don't know, or if you have any doubt, usually we err on the side of stay in the big channel.
Oh, this is a class 5 paddle toss. You can do it. Oh. Oh.
Yes!
Oh, look at it, made it look easy.
I was going, no.
I went to full Monty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So coming up to this next rapid, we're back to the approach issue. And basically the river is pushing water to the left and then a hard bend back to the right. But in the bend back to the right down there below the rapid is a big strain or potential tree. So we need to avoid that. The way to do it is you come into the rapid and just point your boat a little bit right as you come through this hole like that, and then look to the right and then paddle over there. And I'm in the Eddy. I didn't get it all on film as I was watching Scott as well, but Adam did a fantastic job, and so does Mitch. Basically nose angle to the right, boat angle right as you come through the hole, and you're already going right. And he just finishes the Eddy out. Bonnie does not do that. She points straight and keeps that forward momentum. Now she turns, but now she's fighting getting away from that tree. And Alan does the same thing. Actually, Eddy bounces and turns left towards the tree. And now he's having to paddle a little harder than we want to get away from there. So just think about these things as you approach rapids. Don't think about just the rapid. Think about how to get out of that rapid and what you need to be doing right on the other side.
Go left. You're okay. You're good. Swim to let go of the boat. Swim that way. Swim. Swim hard to the shore. All right, let me get it. Push down. There you go. Whew. I didn't even see what happened. I looked away for a second. You were upside down.
So did I.
I was like, he's got it, and then boop. Beware that tree. Woo. It's no good. It's no good. It's a hole. It's not a wave.
So as we come down through this next rapid, it's a little more technical than some of the others. Still not a lot to it, but we have some cross waves and some little reactionary waves. I just duck in behind this little fader booth eddy, and then I want to do the same to that one, just to kind of carve it up and make more out of it than is actually there. And I also want to kind of be around as the other guys run through here. And Adam's looking great. He's kind of just bombing it, really not doing too much, and there's not a lot of challenge for him there. But we both identified this is a good surf wave. Mitch comes through here, and he gets a little bit of G.I. Joe. In other words, he starts holding his paddle just horizontal, and he stops paddling. And this is what gets Bonnie. She gets spun right there and just stops doing anything. And rule number 1, never enter a hole sideways. But then I'm thinking to myself, where have I seen this before? Ah, that's right, let me show you. Almost the exact same maneuver I pulled at Thunder Hole on Wilson Creek during the race. I had just rolled up, was still reorienting, and I realized here I am in a non-preferable position, facing somewhat backwards to the right, and sliding into a massive hole sideways. Not a great idea, but leading up to that moment, I really didn't do anything to help myself. So if I had just taken a quick backstroke with my left paddle and a hard forward stroke with my right, I could have just done the fader booth off that right wall and run it normal. But instead, as you see, I'm just holding my paddle perpendicular, hoping this works out. And let's see how that worked out for me. And here we are with Bonnie again. She G.I. Joe'd just like I did. In other words, she just looks like a mannequin holding a paddle and did nothing to straighten out. So she just floated, banged off the rock, and fell into the hole sideways. And that'll give you some predictable results, and they won't be the results you're looking for. So in my case and in Bonnie's case there, both those situations could have been avoided if we had just helped ourselves out by continuing to paddle through. And the moral of the story basically is you just need to keep paddling. You keep fighting for it. It doesn't stop just because you get sideways or backwards or you're in a weird place, you have to keep paddling. Don't dismay. If you forget this lesson, the river will always be there to remind you. In my case, I run that flare booth on the right side almost every time I run the river, and I love it. It's a great move. I've never had trouble with it before. But the one time I float in there weird and stop paddling, the river makes me pay. In Bonnie's case, she's more than good enough to run that rapid. And if she ran that rapid 20 more times, she would make it through without incident, all 20, I'm sure. In this case, she just got pushed a little bit to the right, saw the rock was coming, and just waited to see what was going to happen.
I hit that rock and I didn't lean.
You
I leaned back, but
You did this.
did I?
You just, as soon as you went sideways, you went, I'll just see what happens.
And I get back this way. It's too deep.
And the hole got you sideways. If you'd have just backstroked it, you'd have come right through.
Yeah.
But you let it just drift too far. I didn't see that combat roll though, Bonnie. I didn't see the roll.
I didn't even try.
I know. You weren't underwater yet. That hand was like, oh no, I don't like it. Hey, give me 5. That's what it's about.
Oh man, it's like a mud pit over here.
Be dusting off that swimmer bill with this.
The swimmer bell is back in action.
So Adam, Alan, Mitch, and I run this rapid again, and we're going to try to carve it up. We're going to try to catch this fader booth here into this eddy, and then we're going to try to shoot across and catch the other one. I actually missed the shoulder a little bit too far right, but it's okay, I'm in here. And I want Alan to come straight to me, and right here he is literally set up perfect. He's got good boat angle, he's got good speed, but he takes a left stroke here, and you'll see as soon as he puts that left stroke in, he loses his boat angle and he washes past. When you're going to catch a fader booth like that, you got to break through the plane, and it's really you're doing a downriver ferry across the current. You can't just float with it. You got to keep that boat angle. It's the whole deal when you're catching one of these fader booths across current like this. And watching Mitch is kind of paddling tentatively again. He's doing these short, shallow cat paw strokes, and he's not driving his boat anywhere, and so he just flushes through the whole thing, kind of wherever the water's going. And here you see me driving across the current to catch that fader booth into this one. So that's the whole deal. If you're going to do that kind of thing, you just got to know you're going to drive that boat across the current on a downstream ferry to get into that eddy. But that's where we're at right now. We're learning how to make that boat go where it needs to go, and it just takes a lot of seat time and a lot of practice. And it really does take a mind shift and some gumption to quit just bombing down rivers with the flow, because that's the easiest way to run any rapid, unless the rapid cannot be run that way, which as you go up in class of rapids, that's what you're going to get into. You can't just bomb down rivers. Sometimes you are required to eddy hop from one side of the river or flow to the other to get set up for running a rapid so that you don't kill yourself. So we're transitioning now from just bombing straight rapids to carving up rapids, which is going eddy to eddy across flow. And surfing in this hole like this is a great place to learn some of the skills and just become comfortable with being in flow and handling your boat. And that's really all we're doing. We're just expanding our horizons here in kayaking. So what we're trying to do is take some control away from the river and not letting that flow mandate where we go. We're going to break loose the flow, and we're going to go where we want to go on the river, regardless of the flow, if that makes a little sense. So surfing, catching eddies, carving up rapids, all that is how we get to the next level. And the guys and Bonnie are doing a fantastic job. They just got their whitewater boats over the winter, and here they are in early spring, carving up rapids and surfing in holes.
Nice! Right edge up! Yes! Very good! Woo! You're almost there. Couple more. Nice. Right edge up, right edge up, right edge up. Yes! Oh, we're coming. I'm here. Take it easy. I'm here. Oh yeah. All right, look, paddle, swim to me. Forget the boat, swim to me hard. Swim. Okay, feet up and go right behind me. Feet up.
Here's one thing we worked on and talked about on the river. Foot entrapment is going to be the most dangerous thing for a paddler on a river. In other words, when you're in flow and you're trying to stand up, your feet can get wedged down between two rocks and lock your foot in place, bending you forward and underwater. And this can happen in a second. And while all your life when you get in water, the instinct is to try to stand up if you can, even if the water's not very deep, you need to float with your feet up. Waist deep water feels like you're just to stand up. You could instantly fall into a chest deep hole, lock your foot, and your head's underwater. It's going to be very difficult to extract you from that situation. Do yourself and everyone else a favor. When you swim through a rapid, put your feet up and in front of you and stay that way until you get to some calm water where you can safely stand up and walk out.
Yes, Bonnie! Relax! Relax!
So the run actually picked up quite a bit to finish off down here from this broken out dam that forms a pretty good rapid here. And running about center of the flow to center left was the best place. Everyone else except me ran it a little further right, and it was a little bit bonier there, but if you can get right here in the sweet spot, there are no rocks. It felt really good and a pretty fun little line. But they're all learning how to run their own rapids, so we'll just see where they pick and see how their approach looks. When I did see a little bit of boniness on the right side, I started telling them to go further to their left. And I was given arm signals, they weren't looking for it, and that's another thing we talked about. Because that came into play in the rapids to finish out the run, I was throwing a lot of arm signals that would have helped them out, but no one was looking at me or anyone else around them. They were focused with some blinders on that rapid. So if someone's down below the rapid, just occasionally look up at them. They may be trying to tell you something that they feel is important. It may make your day a little better.
That's weird. Look at that wave, Adam.
This is a good example of taking direction. I found the better side was going to be over there on the left, so I point and Adam instantly goes over. He's a lot more used to paddling with me in dynamic rivers. Alan heads over to the left side, but Mitch just floats on that right side into the rock, and Bonnie just slams the same rock. They actually look like they were doing some kind of synchronized swift water rock ballet or something over there, kind of like a half rock spin, hoping they weren't about to swim. But definitely there was a series of rocks there that made the left side better, plus there was more flow on the left. It was better overall. But nevertheless, they both made it through there, and now they can put rock spin on the list of skills they have, even if it was maybe a little accidental.
There you go. Good. Okay, we're here at the rapid, and we are going to watch Adam. He's going to try to do something here kind of neat. He's going to try to come in behind this little log right there. There's a little eddy spot right there. Then he's going to try to shoot over and catch this boilie eddy. See if he can get in that and hang out and then come back and peel out. It's kind of like playing horse in basketball. He's kind of calling a special shot, seeing if he can do it. Got his game face on.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, so close!
I think you hear a rock.
Yeah! Is there a rock there?
As it turns out, it was pretty difficult to catch, and maybe if we did it several times, we could unlock the secret. But both of us have 9-foot boats, and perhaps in a small squatty play boat like a Rockstar, you might be able to slip that boat in there. But today, we gave it a shot. It didn't work out, but that's what it's all about. We're looking at things, we're trying to do things for no good reason except that it builds our skill. And this was a tricky little surf wave. It looked good throughout, but if you got in the middle or to the left, you couldn't stay in it. You had to stay on the right side of the wave.
You gotta stay on the right, it kicks you out. Oh, he's going hero.
So Alan catches the top eddy, which is a good first step, and then makes the decision to just send the rest of the rapid. No harm in that. And everyone here did a fantastic job, and a lot of progress on the day. Great little run, great little rapid, and a little rain never hurt anybody.
Perfect. Good. Woo! Nice. Woo!
All in all, we had a fantastic day on the Eno River. There are still some parts of this river we have yet to explore, but it was really nice to get out on the water with Scott, Bonnie, Alan, and Mitch, and again, as always, with Adam. There are a lot of hiking trails along the Eno River, and even though this is a pretty urban stretch, Eno River State Park and some other organizations have spent a lot of time and effort in making sure that this area stays beautiful, and you really don't realize just how urban it is. It looks like you're way out in the middle of nowhere. If you have a chance to get down to the Eno River, go for it. There are plenty of opportunities for recreation. Just do be careful around a couple sites like this dam here at 501. If one was to get into that boil line, that's where they would stay for quite a long time. But it is a pretty sight to walk up and behold. Just please respect the power of the water.